it is differ from one individual to other individual. So it's based on their perception and their personality, how they look into the things. You are implementing your ability to perform only a particular task. So you can perform different tasks. If you follow the ethics, then you will continue with the same organization. So all this cultural factors, basic values, then your work ethics. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to one and all to the session 1 on organizational behavior. So today we are in the unit 2 session 1. In the last session we finished with the unit 1, that is introduction to organizational behavior. So in today's session let us start with the unit 2, that is foundations of individual behavior. So in the last class we discussed about the basic concept of OB. So meaning and definition of OB, nature, characteristics, then historical development of OB. So all this we have discussed in the previous class under the unit 1. In today's session, let us start with the unit 2, that is foundation of individual behavior. So under unit 2, we are going to concentrate on individual behavior. So what all are the foundation or what all are the factors that contribute for the individual behavior. So now we are going to study as an individual. So in the organization, we have a number of employees. So each employee as an individual, we need to analyze and study their behavior. So unit 2 is all about the individual behavior. So in today's session, let us discuss with the introduction, nature of individual differences. What all are the difference between individual? So what all are the factors? So how you can differentiate individual? So next, important dimension of individual differences. So on what basis you are going to differentiate to individual? So all this we are going to study under this session. So let us start with the introduction. So why we need to study the individual behavior? So the organization has to study the individual behavior because they need to establish a coordination. So each individual is different. Each individual is different and their behavior is also different. In order to take a good decision, you need to study the individual behavior. So it is difficult. It is a complex situation to study the individual behavior. So it is a complex factor. So all organizations are composed of an individual. No organization can exist without individuals. So human behavior, which is considered a complex phenomena, is a very difficult to define absolute terms. So we cannot define an individual. So absolutely you cannot define because each individual, their behavior, their characteristics is different. So we cannot absolutely define the term individual. So you need to analyze individual behavior. It is primarily a combination of response to external and internal stimuli. So what we are going to study under individual behavior? So it is an external and internal stimuli, external and internal desires which motivate or which influence an individual to behave in a particular type or in a particular situation. So individual behavior is depends or influenced by this external and internal stimuli. So what are the factors which contribute or which influence for the individual behavior? So all this we are going to study under unit 1 because this external and internal factors will influence differently between an individual. So it is differ from one individual to other individual. So it's based on their perception and their personality, how they look into the things or how they accept the fact. So based on that, they are going to react for that situation. So for that, in order to predict the individual behavior in a particular situation, you need to study the individual behavior. So next one, nature of individual differences. How you can define an individual? So the basic factors. So individual differences are personal attributes that vary from one person to other person. So individual differences may be physically or psychological. Physical or psychological. The following figure, it shows the physical and psychological differences. So this individual differences can be classified into two types. First one is a physical differences and second one is a psychological differences. So what all are the physical differences? Physical differences includes height. So individuals' height may be differ. So next, weight, body shape, then appearance and complexion. So all this is a physical differences. So all the individuals are not same. So irrespective of their height, weight, color and body shape, all this are differ from one individual to other individual. So that is physical differences. So next, psychological differences. So it includes individual personality. Individual personality is differ from one person to other person. So next one, your attitude, your values, your ethics. So it will be differ. So next, perception. So also the perception may be differ from one individual to other individual. Then motivation. So for example, in the organization, you have 100 employees. So all the 100 employee will not get motivated with the one factors. For example, only the monetary term or financial motivation will not work for all the category or for all the employees. So some may get motivated with other factors. So that is the difference between their individuals. So their perception, their attitudes and their personality. So next one, learnings. So one may be a fast learner and one may be a slow learner. So depends on their, all this comes under the psychological differences. So basically we are going to differentiate individual under two bases, physical differences and psychological differences. So next one, important dimension of individual differences. So on what basis we are going to differentiate an individual? So under that, first one is a self-concept. So under self-concept, you are going to judge yourself. So under self-concept, you are going to judge or you are going to evaluate. So self-evaluation. So after the self-concept, it comes self-esteem. Under self-esteem, you are going to react for the self-concept. That means after the self-evaluation, you are going to behave or you are going to react according to the self-concept. If you believed in yourself, you are going to react in a positive way. So you are going to respond in a positive way for all the situation. So yes, I can do it. You will go or you will handle all the situation. Or else you may think negatively. So I cannot perform this job or this task. So he may quit from the job. So this is the self-concept and self-esteem. So next one is a personality dimension. So personality dimension. So you are going to differentiate. So the organization, we are going to differentiate an individual based on an individual perception. So individual, how he is going to react for the situation. So his thinking ability and how he is going to respond. He is going to behave for that situation. So how you are going to, his thinking ability, his feelings and your behavior or your response for that particular situation. So based on that, we are going to differentiate. We are going to differentiate individuals. So for example, if you consider a student, so now you have not studied for your internals or your exams. So individual personality is different. So one may think that, so his thinking ability and his feeling, still I have some time so that I can study and I can attempt the exam. So I can get to know the questions or the fear maybe goes. So he thinks in that way. So other group or the other individual may think that, so I am not studied for the exams or internals, so don't attend. So let me quit this task or job. So he thinks in this way. So the individual differences. So the thinking ability or the thinking way is different between two individuals and his behavior and his feeling. So some may think that what is the use? So he may think in that way. So these all are the differences. So based on the personality. So that is individual personality. So in a similar way in the organization, so if you are a fresher, if you are ready to accept or if you are ready to learn new things, if you are ready to adjust for the environment, then you will adjust and you will go on. Otherwise, you will quit the job. So based on your personality, your thinking ability, your feelings and your behavior, that is your response for that situation. So that is personality dimension. So based on individual personality, we are going to differentiate individuals. So next one, abilities. Your ability to perform, either it may be a mental task or it may be a physical task. So mental ability and physical ability. So your ability to perform a particular task or job. So based on your ability, you're going to we are going to differentiate individuals. So one may be good at thinking and reasoning. So other, he may be good at physical task. So based on their abilities, we are going to differentiate individuals. So next one, personal values and ethics. So based on your values and ethics, individuals are categorized. So if you follow ethics and give more preference for the values and ethics, so then your behavior is different. Then you'll give more importance for money or any other factors. So your behavior is different. So based on your values and ethics, we are going to differentiate individual. So these all are the dimension for the individual differences. So moving further, under ability, it is further classified into physical and mental abilities. So under that, first we have a ability. That is individual capacity to perform one or more tasks. So individual capacity to perform one or more tasks. So that is individual ability. As I told you earlier, one may be good at thinking or reasoning, problem solving methodology. So he is good at that thing. So he may perform your ability or your strength to perform various tasks, that is 2 or more tasks. Then it comes to skills. So skills means, so now you are good at thinking and reasoning. So now you are implementing your ability to perform only a particular task. So you can perform different tasks. For example, accounting. So you may be good at thinking and reasoning, that is numerical strength, so that you can go for accounting. So here you are going to implement your knowledge or your ability to perform one task. So under ability, you can perform 2 or more tasks. So here you will concentrate on one task, that is specific task. So you are implementing your knowledge and your skills and your ability to perform that particular task in an effective manner. So that is skills. So it increases your skills when you are practicing or you are implementing or you are concentrating on one task. For example, one individual or one employee, he is participating or 2 or more two project. So he cannot concentrate or he cannot give 100% effort for both the tasks. So if you are implementing your skills only for the one task, means your full concentration is only for the project 1. So that you will give 100% effort, so that it will increase your skills and increase your knowledge. So then it comes to, after ability and after skills, then it comes to competence. Then it comes to competences. So that means now you are getting specialized in one particular field. So here your ability, you can perform 2 or more tasks in the field of accounts. So then you will get, your skills are increased, your knowledge is increased under the skills. That means you are going to concentrate on one particular task. So now your knowledge is increased. So continuous practice and through the experience, your competencies or your competence level will increase. So initially a fresher cannot compete with the experienced employee or experienced people. So now after some time, so through your experience and your knowledge, continuous practice will help you to compete with others. So that is competences. So next one is a psychological process of behavior. Next one is psychological process of your behavior. So your various factors will influence your behavior. So various external or it may be internal factors will contribute or will influence on your behavior. So the organization has to study the individual psychology in order to predict their behavior. So what all are those factors? So this psychological factors can be studied under two models. So according to your syllabus, you have two models to study this psychological factors of an individual. So under that, first one is a SR model. So that is stimuli and response model. So under stimuli and response model, here you have a stimuli, that is internal desires or needs. So internal desires or needs. Then for that, for internal desires and needs, you are going to respond. That is stimuli and response model. How you are going to respond for your internal desires or needs. So that is SR model. So this model assumes that reasons which causes human behaviors are two types: internal feelings and external environment. This model can be explained through one diagram. So just look at this diagram. Here, this is the stimuli. This is stimuli. It may be internal or it may be external. So your desires and needs. So for example, when you saw an advertisement of a mobile phone, so then it creates your internal stimuli. So then desire arises. So you want to purchase that mobile phones. So that desire arises. Then you will go for the organism, or you will go for external source. That is, you will go for the person. That is external source. That is external source. You will collect all the information, related information, in order to support your internal stimuli. So then you will start collecting. You are going to get a feedback from all the sources about that particular model or about that particular mobile phone. So after that, whether it may be favorable or it may be a negative response. So considering this person or external factors, you are going to respond. You are going to respond for this. So here first is the internal desires arise. So next you will search for the external support. So that is organism or person. So next one, finally you are going to respond. Either it may be a positive or it may be a negative. So you will collect the opinion from the external source. So feedback, review of that mobile phone. Then you will go for your budget. Budget in the sense whether that factor will help or will it support for your action. So then you will consider all the factor, all the external factor for your desire. Then you will go for response. So you are going to respond for that stimuli. Either it may be a positive or it may be a negative. So that is SR model, stimuli response model. So here stimuli is an input. So it's an input. For this input, then you will go for the processing. So after input, processing. Processing is this person or this external source, external opinion. So next you will go for outcome. So after input, processing, then outcome. Outcome is the response, either positive or it may be a negative. So that is SR model, stimuli response model. So next one is SOBA model. It is quite similar to the SR model. SOBA model is stimuli, organism, behavior, accomplishment model. This model combines the SR model and human beings. Here, organism is passive, but it is mediating, maintenance and adjective functions between S and R. So here stimuli, again you have a stimuli, organism, behavior and accomplishment model. Here stimuli denotes the external environment situations. So stimuli is a very comprehensive and all-encompassing nature. It stimulates people into action. So interrupt what they are doing and help them to make their choices. So external sources will external sources, it will help to make decision or helps to make their choices. So external source will support to make the decision. So that is stimuli. So here stimuli is an external source or it denotes external environment. It supports to choose the correct decision or support for the best decision. So next one is organism. Organism not only stands for the psychological being but also here knowledge, skills, attitude, etc. It maintains the interaction between the stimulus and stimulus always. So here your knowledge and skills and your attitude. So stimuli is a situation and organism is your knowledge and your skills. So your knowledge, your attitude and your skills. Then your behavior. Then you will go for accomplishment in the sense response for that situation. So then here you will go for the feedback. So this is the stimulus, external source which support for to make the decision. Then here under organism you are going to implement your skills, knowledge and your attitude to make the decision. Then your behavior will influence your ethical and your moral values will influence to make the decision. So here you will make a decision and you are going to respond, either it may be a positive or it may be a negative. So again you will go for feedback. So that is SOBA model. Here external source, internal source in the sense your knowledge, skills and abilities and your behavior will influence for the accomplishment. That is response. That is SOBA model. Moving further, next topic is factors influencing individual behavior. So what are the factors which influence for your individual behavior? So how you are going to respond for the situation? So what are the factors it influence for your behavior or your response? So under that first one is your personality traits. So that means your feelings, your thinking ability and your behavior, how you are going to respond for the situation. So all this will influence on your behavior. For example, your thinking ability. So as I told you in the last example, if you are not studying for your internals means, so your thinking ability will influence. Let us not attend the internals. So you are going to respond your behavior. That is your personality traits. So next one, economic factors. Economic factors will influence on your behavior like your wage rate, then technological changes, then job, economic outlook, employment opportunity. So all this comes under the economic factors. It influences on your behavior. For example, if you have a more opportunity, job opportunity, then you're not ready to adjust for the lot of things. For example, job opportunities are more, then you will not ready to adjust for the things. You will not obey the senior's order or the top management order. Then wage rate. If the wage rate is high, sometimes you will adjust for the situation, or you may have the opportunity, job opportunity with the high salary, then you will go for the alternative. Then you have an alternative option. So you are not ready to accept or you are not ready to obey the manager or top management decision. So all this will influence on your behavior. So when you have opportunity, you will not ready to obey. Otherwise, in opposite situation, sometimes you will adjust for the situation and you will obey the manager orders. So next one, socio-cultural factors. So social environment consists of relationship with your friends, relation with friends, co-workers, superiors and subordinates. Your relationship with your friends as well as within the organization. So if the organization maintains a good relationship with them, then you are ready to adjust and your behavior is different. Sometimes you will be polite and you will obey all the orders and you will accept and you will contribute more and you will work effectively for the organization. So your behavior is different in these two situations. So socio-cultural, that is your relationship with the employees, your subordinates, your co-worker, your top management and your leader, your superior, all this. So will influence your behavior. Next, cultural factors. So cultural factors includes basic value, your perception, work ethics and your preferences. So your preference is salary. Then if the other organization give you offer with more salary, you will switch. If you follow the ethics, then you will continue with the same organization. So all this cultural factors, basic values, then your work ethics and your preferences will influence your behavior. Moving further, organizational factors. Organizational factor consists of structure, then hierarchy, then resources, leadership, then support from the organization. So your organization is going to influence for your behavior. So working environment will influence on the individual behavior. Next one, motivation. So motivation, under motivation you have an internal motivation, that is individual skills, ability and intelligence. Then external source, that is incentives and training. So both the internal as well as the external motivational factors will influence your behavior. Your skills and knowledge, your ability will motivate to work effectively and get appreciation. Then external factors like incentives and training will motivate you to work effectively. So it influence on your behavior. So next one, attitude. Your perception, favorable or unfavorable. So perception, how you are going to look into things. So either it may be a positive or it may be a negative. Either it may be a favorable or unfavorable. It will affect your behavior. Next, values. Personally or socially preferable. So your value will influence on your behavior. Next, abilities. So your actual skills and capacity of a person. So your skills and knowledge and your capacity to perform a particular job. Then your physical and mental ability to perform a particular job will influence on your behavior. So your youngsters. So now your ability, your skills, your mental and physical abilities are more. So you will quit the job continuously. So you have an ability to manage so that it influences your behavior. Next one, perception. Again, is a viewpoint which one interpret a situation. So sometimes the management or superior may support your work. So how you are going to perceive or how you are going to analyze the situation? So based on your perception. So you may take it in a positive way or it may be a negative way. So that will influence your further behavior or that will influence for the reaction or for response. Next one, personal factors like age, gender, education, intelligence, then marital status, regions, all these factors will influence for your behavior. All these are the factors which influence for the individual behavior. This is all about today's session. In the next session, let us discuss with the ability and various types of ability and some more interesting topic. Until then, keep watching. Thank you.